I just kind of carried on doing what I always knew from a young age what I wanted to do. So I always wanted to be a journalist. I was English and literature and history and all those kind of subjects were kind of my thing. So I kind of knew where I wanted to be, and I also knew just, I saw the kind of people that were around me, and I knew where I didn't want to be. So I didn't want to be in prison. I didn't want to be, I saw where some of my peers were going, and there were a certain select group of us were actually, well, no, that's not where we want to go. You know what I mean? Still have your head on your shoulders. You know what I mean? And that's just where we.
So was that something that you fostered for yourself, or was that something that your parents maybe pushed, or your other members of your family pushed, or was that something you just had a?
I think it's all of the above. I think obviously the grounding that I'd got from family life was always quite there. So I always hung around with people that were of the same mindset. So like when I was growing up, I grew up until I was about 12 or so, 13, in London Fields in Hackney. And them times there, they were still shooting people them times. So, and it was so rough, you know what I mean? And so when we moved, that had always been ingrained that, you're meant for better. And, because, in no uncertain times, my parents made it clear that they would put a lash in your tail, you know what I mean? So like, that was never the part. That was never the part. So that was always ingrained.
Good stuff. So secondary school, you had your English. What other subjects did you like in secondary school? Did you ingratiate yourself with doing?
I liked history. Ended up doing geography for some reason. I did a bit of electronics, but I think those were my, maths, English and science were kind of my strongest subjects at the time. Kind of fell out of love with them after that, but yeah, I think history and English were my favourite subjects growing up. But it was also, a big part of that is also the teachers and how you're engaged and how you're kind of left to kind of interact with that and just, so I had some pretty special teachers, so that's kind of what kept that moving.
And those teachers kind of, what were they, what made them special? Is it just they just kept you on the straight and narrow, or?
No, because I think by that point I was where I needed to be. But I think it's just you just run into, everyone has them. You just run into those special teachers, and I had this, I forgot his name, Mr. Wyatt, I think his name was, and he was just, there was just something about him, and his bedside manner isn't a word, but just this rapport that he just fostered with all these students, you know what I mean? It just made you want to engage with the curriculum. It made you want to perform, and you know what I mean? It was just like, I'm enjoying this, and it's like, it's treating you like the young adult, the young adolescent that you are, you know what I mean? Not just saying, oh, well, here, read question tree, and you know what I mean? It was so it was just, everyone has one of those special teachers that kind of really see something in you, see that potential, and kind of force you to actually think, perhaps you should be kind to yourself and give yourself a chance. And so
there needs to be more than that.
100%. But it takes a special individual to have that, to be able to see that and be able to foster and develop that in a child, and because it's not. There are, as I'm sure you well know, there are teachers that are about their craft. There are teachers that are there, I'm sure, for a paycheck. So there are,
even like kids.
There you go. And I learned that once I worked. And, you know what I mean? All them things that you say, oh, I don't think so and so likes me. No, you don't. You don't. You know what I mean? So it's all,
confirm anybody's suspicions. Okay, so this is a question. It potentially could be a difficult question, but maybe not. From year 7 up until year 11, how do you think, as a young black boy, do you think you changed?
I think very much in year 7. I think I went through about maybe three or so changes in amongst that period. So like year 7, I was still sort of young and impressionable, still trying to find my way in the various groups and all the dynamics that entailed. Year 9, I kind of got fed up of getting into trouble and actually decided, well, you know what, you're letting yourself down more than anyone. There's only so many times you can get detention. It's just wasted time. Only so many times you can count the ceiling tiles. You know what I mean? It's, So, and then from that point on, it was just like, I kind of distanced myself from from the kind of the worst elements in amongst the peer group. So I think by sort of year 10, year 11, I was friends with people that I'm still friends with that were, you know, aware of what was going on in the roads. But you know, you have a savviness as a young, like, you know, when I was, it's funny now, it's almost come full circle now that we're kind of back with all the stabbings and that kind of thing. When I was, if I'm 29, when I was 14, 15, 16 is when people were being stabbed, you know what I mean? And like that's when it was a thing. It was like, oh, you know, so-and-so's, you know, so you're aware of these things, but you stop putting yourself in the line of, not in the line of fire, but you stop putting yourself in these situations. And just, you know, it was all them days where all that ignorance and, you know, you screw me, and, you know, you see a man over the road and he goes different school and he's from this postcode, and it's just like, do you own any property? You know what I mean? It's just, it just baffles the mind, you know what I mean? That like so many of my, like, you know, so many of my friends were, you know, got into issues, and, you know, we've lost people along the way, and it's just like, after a while, it's just like, I'm not in all of that, you know what I mean? To what end? Like, prison was never the way for me. Like, I've worked very hard, no criminal record, no youths, you know what I mean? Like, that was, you know what I mean? Nothing before its time in regards to the youths, but like, it's just a savviness. You just kind of realize what your own worth is and where you want to go, and you look at the people around you and what you want to achieve and what you aspire to be, and does that line up with the people that you're spending time with, that you're ingratiating yourself with? No, if the answer is no, then you need to do something about that. So I think by the time I was 16, I was, you know, I knew that college was on the cards. I knew that university was ultimately the progression. I always wanted to be a journalist. I was big into history off the back of the special teacher that I had, and I was good at it. So I kind of knew, I had a plan. I knew where I wanted to be. You know, I suppose the world was my kind of oyster at that stage. So yeah, and obviously but you're always contending with what the perceptions are of you as a young black male. So I was like, well, I know what the world is thinking of me, and what, you know, these perceptions that you always have to contend with. So I'm going to do my bit to kind of be like, you can think what you want in it, but I'm going to do my thing and achieve. I'm going to achieve what I, you know what I mean? You always have to, even now for what I do now, but I'm sure we'll get onto that, you know, you still have to contend with what, he's a young black male in this industry, you know what I mean? Regularly. So yeah, it's the whole thing. So it never really goes, you know. You just
get better at navigating.
You just get better at navigating. There you go.
All right, cool. So, like you said, you got to the point now. You've got the confidence. Know where you're going. You get to college. What did you study in college, my friend?
So college was another big turning point, but because I came out of the ends. I came out of the area, so I went to college in Newbury Park in Redbridge. I went to college with some of my cousins, some of my female cousins, and so what did I study? I did history, sociology, psychology, and media in the first year, and then I dropped sociology in the second year. But that was entirely, so I didn't go to college with anyone that I'd gone to school with previously, and that's been a constant thing. So primary school, that was one group, then I moved area, then that was the next group, then college, that was the next group. So it was a chance, I suppose, to reinvent yourself a little bit, and I loved college, man. I think I made the best decision I could have possibly done, and I've done that in every, you know, university I went out again. You know what I mean? I think it's almost a bit of a rite of passage. Sometimes you need to take yourself away from from what's comfortable, you know. And I loved it, man. And you said about confidence. I never struggled for confidence, as I'm sure you're.
I'm a little bit aware.
As I'm sure you're aware, but like it was just, you know, plus is when women got involved. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I went to a boys' school. You know what I mean? In secondary. So then college it was mixed, and it's hello. You know what I mean? So it was a whole different flex. You know what I mean? So I did. You know, I got my first girlfriend at 17, 16, and like, you know, like serious thing, and like it was. Yeah, man, it was a pivot. It was a wicked time. It was a wicked time.
So what did you study? You didn't tell me what you studied.
I did. So I did psychology, history, sociology, psychology, history, sociology, and media. So yeah.
Cool. That's a lot.
Yeah, well, you do 4 and then you drop one. I don't know if that's still the wave, but yeah. So did well.
Yeah.
But,
and what did you major in?
I suppose what I did the best in was history and media. But I suppose what was difficult is like for, when I was 15, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So it's like an inflammatory bowel thing. So in the last year of school, I missed about 6 months because I was just mad ill. So, so then in college, that was also something I had to contend with. So my attendance fluctuated. You know what I mean? But I had someone that I'm really, really good friends with, even to this day. Shout out Michael, who used to bring me my books after school, my homework and stuff. I used to do them from home and stuff like that. So
shout out to Michael, man.
Yeah. He's one of my greatest friends. So it was an interesting time. You become more aware of yourself, and you just kind of grow into the man that you ultimately be. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah, man.
It's money.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. I enjoyed college. So
you were still living at the same end, but you just went to college in
yeah. So I was still in Walthamstow them times. But I was kind of taking the train out to Redbridge and then places there.
To meet different kind of people.
Yeah. But I mean, two of my cousins went there.
How did it broaden your horizon, would you say?
Just a new group of people, and I think as these are people that had, like I said, I had 2 female cousins that went there. I knew some people that were there, so like I kind of came in as kind of fresh meat, you know what I mean? But it weren't intimidating. It was just like, these are new people, and
and Galley's there.
That too, yeah, you know what I mean. And there's a running joke that I make with my friend about him being my secretary, but really, I used to have a friend, the same friend Michael, that was so popular, everyone knew him, and then we became friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, who's he?" kind of thing, you know what I mean. So by proxy, I kind of became known. But it was just a new group of people, and I think I was ready for that, you know what I mean. And so, I loved it. I loved college. It was a good time. Uni.
Right. So, what uni did you go to?
I went to Lincoln University, which is near Nottingham.
Okay.
And I did media. I went to. I did that through clearing, but ended up again going to the same university as one of my cousins. Broke my leg on my second day.
Whoa! How did you do that?
Boy, let's not even go there. Innit? It's a football injury, innit? Let's keep it as that. So the first sort of 3 months, I missed that initial socialising period, and I was a bit of a recluse, man. Like I was, you know what I mean. I was just kind of doing, because I didn't really know anyone in the first year, because I'd kind of missed freshers. I was off for 3 months while I was on these crutches, you know what I mean. And then I was just kind of hobbling around. So for me, I don't really feel like. So I did what I needed to do. I made it through all them kind of things. But I was so far, because that was a big part of university for me. I wanted to get so far away from what I'd known. I didn't want to be in East London anymore. I wanted to be out. I wanted to come out of London. You understand? And I felt like it was almost a rite of passage. Like, can I look after myself? Can I cook? And all them things there, which turns out, yes, I can. But I was with some whatless people that couldn't even boil pasta. I tell you, it was a whole madness. But so for me, I got through the first year, but for me, it wasn't until the second year that I really felt like I got into my stride. So that I was back out, I was meeting people, there were, obviously uni's a funny place because it's its own little self-contained bubble in it. There's no real responsibilities as such, and there's no real consequences as such, you know what I mean? So it's like, you just, whatever happens in this bubble. So I was running wild in second year, man. I was just, I was having a good time. And then
making up for lost time.
There you go. And then third year, you kind of knuckle down a little bit. Dissertations, all them kind of things.
Were you studious?
You know what? I've always been. I perform, but I've always been. I'm like a serial procrastinator, man. So I do the essay like the evening before, stay up till like 4 a.m. Get it done. You know what I mean?
My friend Raf, who's been on the podcast before.
So and then I'd surprise myself by like getting like 2 1s and and I'm thinking, well, boy, maybe if I'd given this some time, you know what I mean? And like so that was the wave throughout. So like I ended up doing my dissertation in like 2 weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? Like So no, I mean, studious is not the word I would necessarily associate with myself, but
lucky.
I just kind of got it through, man. I've blagging and procrastination were the sort of pinpoints of my university. So like, I'd come in having not read the text and just, not that this is the way you should operate, and if I could do it again, I wouldn't do it like that. But I just